Hello, we are learning simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation. So, for clarity, let me start by defining what a simultaneous equation is. A simultaneous equation is an equation used to solve two variables. For example, in organizations, they have something like two inputs, like capital intensive or labor intensive. So that is it. But in math here, we have it as x and y. So mostly x and y or m and n or some other letters. So simultaneous equation is an equation that is used to solve two variables. It is used to simplify two variables. So in every simultaneous equation, there's going to be two equations. So namely equation 1 and equation 2. So for example, let's have one example, and before we delve into the solution, I'm going to show you different ways and of solving simultaneous equation. Let's have the first example. Let's copy it from this book. So let's have 2x minus 3y 2x minus y is equal to 8, and 3x plus y is equal to 17. So this is a good example of a simultaneous equation. So where we have two equations, the equation 1 and the equation 2. So the equation 1 is 2x minus y equal to 18, that's our equation 1, and the other is equation 2, that's 3x plus y equals to 17, that's equation 2. So there are three methods for solving simultaneous equations. There are three methods for solving simultaneous equation. There are just three. So the first one is substitution method. So substitution method, after the substitution method, we have the elimination method. And the last one is graphical method. So for this video, we're going to be using the substitution method. So we are working with this substitution method. So now, how do you do the substitution method? So we're going to be solving this question using the substitution method. So first, let me quickly advise you when and how to use substitution method. We use substitution method when you believe one of your variable is actually without a coefficient. Like for example, this is not having a coefficient, this is not having a coefficient. It will be helpful to do that using substitution method. But if both of them are having substitution, if they are having coefficient, I think elimination method will be the next will be the best option for you to use. So by either of the two, you will get your correct answer. So now let's start using our substitution method. So we have 2x minus y equal to 8, that's our equation 1, and 3x plus y equal to 17, that's our equation 2. So using our substitution method, first we make one of the letters the subject in any of the equation. So I will be going with this equation 2 because it has positive y. So now we can do that means in equation 2 we make y the subject in equation 2. So we are making y the subject in equation 2. So that becomes our y will be equal to 17 minus 3x. So that is y the subject. So we may call this equation 3, or we leave it as what it is. We may call it equation 3. So these are equation 3. Then this equation 3 will be used to find y in the future. So now let's continue Now you substitute for it. That's why it is called substitution method. Substitute equation 3 in equation 1. So substitute equation 3. That's where we made it the subject in equation 1. In equation 1. So now let's do that. So that means anywhere we see y in equation 1, we're going to write this 17 minus 3x. So that becomes 2x minus bracket open 17 minus 3x bracket close is equal to 8. So see, this 17 minus 3x is the value of our y, because our y is equal to 3, and this is the negative sign that defines it. You understand that is having. So we open the brackets. That becomes 2x minus 17 and plus 3x is equal to 8. So at this stage we collect like terms. So that becomes 2x plus 3x is equal to 8 plus 17. So do not forget that this guy lives here. This guy lives here to meet this here. So, and the sign must change. So simultaneous expression is also an algebraic expression. So we are dealing with algebra here as well. So that becomes 5x is equal to 25. So at this stage you can divide both sides by x. We divide both sides by the coefficient of x. That's divided by 5 divided by 5, and our x will be equal to 5. So our x is 5. So now that we've gotten our x to be 5, we can now check for it in our equation 3. So we can solve for x in equation 3. So do not forget that our equation 3 is y is equal to 17 minus 3x. So our equation 3 is 17, y is equal to 17 minus 3x. So meaning that anywhere we have x, we replace it with 5, we substitute into the equation. So meaning y will be equal to 17 minus 3 into bracket of 5, which is what our x is. So 3 times 5, that's 15. So meaning that our y will be equal to 17 minus 15. So our y will be equal to 2. So meaning that in this equation, our x is equal to 5 and our y is equal to 2. So that's the final answer for x and y. So you can check. It's possible for you to check if your answer is actually correct or wrong. It's possible for you to check. So how do you check? We can check in any of the equations. So let's check. Check in equation 1, any of the equations. So do not forget that equation 1 says 2x minus y is equal to 8. So after we are done solving it, we are expected to get 8. So meaning that when we substitute the value of x and the value of y into this equation, we should get this. We should get this 8. So now let's do that. So 2x is 2. That's 2 times 2 minus y, which is 5. No, x is 5. Sorry, x is 5 and y is 2. So is equal to what? So now let's do the math. So this is 10 minus 8. Sorry, minus 2 is equal to 8. So that means we are correct. So the value of our x is correct and the value of our y is correct. So thank you for watching. You can actually do more by practicing more questions and try to understand it, and ask questions in the comment section below. Thank you.